Good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started here. Just a few things before we do get started. We will be recording this session, so we'll be giving a short demo and running through the slides. So just to let you all know that we will be recording this session. If you have any questions, we just ask that you put those in the chat. That way we can monitor and answer them in real time and get back to you all if for some reason we don't have an answer. And then additionally, just so you all are aware, I do have you all defaulted to mute. So unless you need to come off of mute to ask a question for some reason, we just ask that you all stay on mute so we can minimize background noise. So with all that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Dave to run through the slides.
Thanks, Angie. And today we're going to talk about how an employer can access campus through the work comp campus system. My name is Dave Horning, and I'm here to run through some slides. And then after I'm done with the slides, Angie will do a demo on accessing claims within campus. So basically, campus is going to be available, as you can see, for its self-service online access 24/7. You'll be able to send documents electronically, securely, and hopefully minimize claim errors and issues. And that's between, of course, the insurer, attorneys, and Department of Labor. And as I stated, campus will put the work comp claim information you need right at your fingertips. And it's going to be rolled out, as you can see, November of this year, from paper-based to electronic system available on computers, tablets, and smartphones, which is going to be, I think, a real plus, a game changer. Anybody who has access to a group regarding a claim will be able to access it via any medium, anytime. You don't have to be in an office environment to review any claim information associated to you or your employer. Benefits for employers, as I stated: access to information, e-service of documents for claims, disputes, appeals, rehab forms. You get email notifications of filings, claims, disputes, anything related to work comp. You'll be able to get an email notification to keep you updated in real time of what is happening with the claim or case. Of course, you can schedule conferences, mediations via electronic communication. It makes it easier. Again, electronic filing for requests for assistance, mediations, respond information, and online payment and management of DLI penalties if applicable. And the impact to employers is, of course, you'll be able to view any information, again, via computer, tablet, or smartphone on any claim you have regarding your organization and employees. No more paper filings, which is going to be great. Again, everything is, you can get documents sent to you. You can send documents via email, attachments. Certainly you could print that out, information out if you need to, but for the most part, no more paper filings to the Department of Labor, which is going to be a good thing. And now, to register an account in campus, you'll have access, and Angie will go through this a little bit, but basically, it's pretty simple. Like anything else, you just sign up with an email and a password. Like any other thing, you sign up on the newspaper or anything, really. Simple as that. Just register an account in campus. It'll give you the prompts to add the information that's needed. As you can see, there's a lot of information that is required. And then once you get registered, you will come to an employer dashboard, and it'll look something like this. And again, Angie will do a demo and we'll see a live demonstration of this dashboard. So basically, you'll come into a dashboard, you'll see open claims, upcoming events, new documents. So again, it's real time. So from day to day, you'll be able to see if you have anything in your dashboard. And as you see down here, you have queues, you have your claims, my disputes, and my forms. They'll be listed under the respective tabs. And over here, you'll see if you have any notifications. It'll give you the name of the group, the person in the group administrator. And you'll be able to submit any type of filing, access to a claim, initiate a dispute, object to a penalty. As you can see, a number of different filings you can submit through the portal. And then we come to an employer details page. This is your page where you'll be able to give permissions to anyone who needs to review anything within the work comp campus system. And you could have, as you see here, you have an employer, you can have as many employers. For those employers with, DBAs, you have, a subsidiary with a different employer name. You could add all those subsidiary names, any name, to the employer group. And here we just have one member, one employer. You'll see the date joined, the group administrator, of course, again, is you can designate anyone to be a group administrator. And then, of course, assign permissions to that group administrator. And you see here, this group admin, he has permissions for, he's a designated contact. He can process all requests. He can access claims, and he's a designated contact for penalties. And again, you could assign permissions to anybody within the group, as you see, as required. And then we get to the external employer details page. So this is a details page that you, as an employer, will see when you go through your campus account. And you see here you have an employer with an employer ID. Every employer is assigned a unique ID number. The name, the employer, of course, any DBAs, your FEIN. Paid unemployment ID number is going to be available. If there's a work comp policy, it will have the work comp association file number. Again, that's from your insurance company. If you do have insurance, will file a work comp policy with our work comp bureau, and this is the number that's assigned to you. It's a unique number. And the employer status date, this is the date, of course, from our deed account where the deed account was created, and it's, oops, sorry. And as you can see, your employer status is active. And then, of course, we have the tabs. You have addresses, locations. So you could have like a main address and maybe a mailing address. But then if for employers with multiple locations, or you have another location, you will have a separate locations tab that'll list all the location addresses separately. You can have contact users. And the coverage history is for our work comp coverage history, workers' compensation. So you'll be able to, at a glance, keep tabs on your policy information. Do you have any related employers to your main employer here? And of course, related claims and cases. And again, Angie will touch a little bit on this, but mostly into the claims. But so the details page is, again, it's a snapshot up to date of you as an employer, what the information that we have available is available to you. If there's any issues, you see something that isn't right, of course, you certainly can contact our Department Department of Labor, and we could revise any information that you may deem not correct in this details page. So again, it helps us, it helps you. Again, just knowing that the information here is correct. And I guess that's the main thing is it gives, my thought is it gives the employer, any employer, just peace of mind that this information is available to them at a glance through our work comp system. And it follows you, of course, throughout the entire campus environment. So again, any information that you see once you log into campus that may not be correct, certainly give us a call and we could adjust that information as needed. Any questions on this information so far?
Dave, I'm not seeing anything in the chat right now. If you want, I can hop into the demo and then we can just kind of field questions as they come through that content.
Okay, thanks, Angie.
Perfect. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Angie Andreessen. I am the business analyst here at DLI working on the work comp modernization program. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show you all a demo of campus, just a few of the things that you all might encounter on a regular basis or on the first time you log in as an employer. So you can see here that I'm in my campus login page, just like Dave showed us earlier. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click sign up just to run through this process with you all. So when you first register for campus, you're going to want to register as an employer. Now, I will say there are multiple things that are listed here as far as what you can register for. If you are someone who is a self-insured employer, you administer your own claims, you may register as an employer or as an insurance carrier self-insured. It's totally fine. It should not be, it should not impact how you register. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to fill this out like I was going to register for a new account. And as Dave mentioned, the fields with asterisks are what are required. So it's pretty basic. It's going to be like your name and your address. And your email address. So you can see here that this email address is already taken. But if it were a new email address, I could just go ahead and enter the password information, making sure that it is in line with our requirements. I could attest to these boxes and confirm that I'm not a robot and click sign up. I'm not going to do that right now, just for the purposes of time and making sure that I can show you all the features in campus once you are registered. But what happens after that is you actually would receive an email to let you know that you have registered. You would just need to confirm your login information. So it's fairly simple. For those of you who are group administrators, so those of you who submitted a survey indicating that you're a group administrator for your organization, you will have a slightly different process and that'll be communicated to you at a later date. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to sign in with an employer account that I've already got established here. And whenever you access the system, you'll just have to agree to the access requirements, just kind of a standard part of accessing a government system. Just going to move around my WebEx information really quickly. So you can see here, now we're on this dashboard that looks exactly like the one that Dave showed us in the slides. So there are a few different things that you all as employers can do from here. You've got your submit a filing button up here, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. We've also got our profile information. So you can see I'm logged in as Angie Employer. I can edit my own profile. That's just going to be my basic things like my name or my address or my email address. I can see my groups as well. So if you are not part of an employer group or some other group, this button will not actually be here. You have to be part of a group in order for the My Groups button to display. So if I click on the My Groups button, it takes me to this page, and you can see that I am a member of Dragon Extreme Sports. Just from looking at this, we can see that there are a few different people that are part of this group. We have a couple group admins. We have myself, and then we have Dave Smith. I can see my permissions here. I'm a group administrator. I'm the service of process designee, which means that I would receive emails when a document is legally served to my employer entity. I'm also a designated contact for information requests from DLI. That's very similar to the service of process designee. The difference is that it's going to be just your normal documents. It's not necessarily going to be served documents that you would be receiving. I'm also the designated contact for penalties. Again, that one's pretty self-explanatory, just means that I would get penalty information sent to me specifically for the employer. And then also the claim access administrator, meaning that I can allocate claim access to different people within my group. So just to show you all what this will be like the very first time you come into campus, I'm going to go ahead and click on Manage Case and Claim Access. And I'm going to get this message. And this message basically says your employer group hasn't been verified yet. You need to do a few things before we can do that. And it just gives you exactly the process that we would have to do to get that taken care of. So I'm going to show you all exactly how to do that. And then I'm going to show you all how to redeem. So basically how to request an access code so that you can get access to your claims, and then how to redeem that access code. So coming back to this page, I'm going to click on our Submit a Filing button. We're going to click Access a Claim or Case. And we've got three different options. So obviously we're not trying to file a motion to intervene. We don't need to submit an authorization since we already know that we are a party to the claim, which leaves us with Request or Redeem an Access Code. And click Next. So right now I don't have an access code, but I know that I need to get one. I'm going to click I'm a representative of the employer named on the claim because that's who I am. If I already had a code, I could click I have a code and enter the code. If I need a code, I just need to complete this short form. So I'm going to select my employer group that I need to get a code for. We recognize that some of you may be in multiple groups at once, which is why we have this drop down, but you would need to do this for every employer entity that you're a part of. And then I just need to select my mailing address, basically where I want this code to go. After I attest and click Submit Form, what'll happen typically, I've already generated a code for this employer, but what would typically happen is a document would be generated on the DLI side, and then we'll actually go ahead and put that right in the mail for you all. Since I already have a code, I'm just going to go ahead and redeem that code. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what that document looks like. So I apologize. I know this is very, very small, but essentially it would just be a normal letter that looks like this. It explains the steps to get your access code, and then it actually provides your access code right here. I'm going to go ahead and enter that access code in on the next page. And I apologize, I know this is probably very small on your end right now. Just want to make sure that I've got my code correct. I'm going to click Submit Form. It looks like it's not recognizing my code right now, so let's just go ahead and request a new code. So you can see here that since I requested that new code, it's going to go ahead and let me know that that request has been made. Give me just a moment here. I'm going to reshare my screen. All right. So while I'm grabbing that code, I'm going to go ahead and show you all where you can find that request. So since I've made that request, DLI is working on it. We are trying to get, I'm waiting for them to send me the letter with that code, but I just want to verify that I did actually ask for one and that it was completed. I can come back to my dashboard and go to the My Forms page, and you can see here records of those requests that I made. And you can see the date that it was last updated or when I submitted it. So we can confirm here that we've already submitted this. We know that we already have this code. We just need to wait for the letter to come in the mail and enter it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pretend a little bit of time has gone by and that we've gotten that letter. Same thing. We click on Access a Claim or Case, Request a Redeemment Access Code. I'm the representative. I have my code. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type it in. Now this time we were successful. Our access code has been redeemed, and now we can view our claims and cases. So you'll see I don't have any claims in the My Claims queue right now, and that's just because I'm not listed specifically as an associated user to each individual claim. However, I can still view the claims that are associated with my entity. So if I go to my group here, and I click on this page, takes just a second. But if I scroll to the bottom and I click this Related Claims and Cases tab, it's going to show me the claims that are associated with my group. Now I want to make sure that everyone in my group can see these claims. So I'm going to go ahead and as a group administrator, I'm going to come back and I'm going to just manage my case and claim access to make sure that all of these claims are available to everyone in my group. If I click this bulk edit, I can grant access to all my claims to multiple people. So I'm going to go ahead and grant access to myself and then grant access to Dave as well. So now if we click on one of these files, it is going to take us right to our claim details page, or it normally should. I apologize that that didn't work as anticipated. Let's try here from our details page. Now, I apologize. It looks like we're having some issues with the claim details page itself. Let me just try one last thing here to make sure. Otherwise, we may just need to show you all the claim details page next round. And here we go. Looks like I maybe just needed to refresh. So as you can see here, this is our claim details page. Since you all are party to the claim, once you take those claim access steps, you'll be able to view these claims for your organization. That letter process would not need to happen on every claim. That would just be a one-time process for you all. So this claim details page is fairly reflective of what we see on the internal DLI side. And this is also what's going to be available to the employee if they sign up for campus, to your insurance company or claim administrator if they sign up for campus. Your attorneys, if they're representing you, would be able to see this page as well. And you can see it's just got a lot of really basic information. This overview up here gives us just the stats on the claim. We can see the employee information, employer information, insurer, date of injury. If we scroll down, we can see some additional information about the claim. And the way that our page is designed, it has kind of these accordion sections. So we can open and close these at will. So if we need to have two open at once, we can do that. Or we can open and close them just depending on what information we're needing. So the information contained in each one of these is relatively self-explanatory. The claim details obviously is going to be kind of your high level stuff. If we want to know more specifically about the accident or employment, we can click here so we can see based on this, the employee was full-time. They were hired in 2011. We have their schedule in here. We don't have the average wage and the wage effective date quite yet because there haven't been enough filings on this particular claim for that to happen. But let's say the insurer or your claim admin filed the NOPLD equivalent. That's when we start seeing that information and then some additional benefit information on this claim. We scroll to the bottom here, we can see the parties on the tab. So we can see we've got the employee, we've got our insured, got our employer, insurer, and our claim administrator. I'm going to pause for just a moment here because I saw that there's a question in the chat. Do all employer contacts need to get the access code to be able to access claims, or just the group administrator who can then give access? That's an excellent question. And you kind of answered it yourself. So it would just be the group administrator who would then be able to give access to those claims to others within the group. We do have a group management training. So if you are someone who is a group administrator for your company, I would highly encourage you to sign up for that. We have one that is going to be tomorrow from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then another on the 21st from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Those will also be recorded if you're unable to attend in person. So going back to our claim details page here, so we saw this parties tab. We can see a few other things here. We don't have any benefits on this claim yet, but this tab here would begin to be populated with claims that were submitted or transmissions that are submitted by your claim administrator, either via EDI or e-forms. So this is kind of a nice way for you to keep track of what they are reporting. We can see our documents. So we've got a first report of injury in here. Our system generates that when the first report of injury is submitted. There were any related claims or cases to this claim, we would see those here. We also see our reporting history. So this is another really valuable tab for you all if you want to just kind of keep track of what your claim administrator has been doing. So we can see here that the claim administrator submitted a first report of injury, and that is the last thing that they've submitted. So they submitted that on the 12th, but there's been no other activity on this claim as far as EDI or e-form submissions. And then finally, claim payments. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that benefits tab. If there were lump sum payments made or the initial payment was made, we would be able to see that information right here. Any additional questions? How are different locations for a business handled? That is a great question. So there's a few different things that can happen with that. So typically what we would do is we would have your locations kind of nested under your main employer entity. You do have the ability to associate addresses with specific users, but generally we'll be looking at your federal ID number, your tax ID number, to associate those claims. So if your tax ID number is the same amongst locations, you would be able to access all of those locations as a member of your employer group. Now, something that we are specifically going to talk through in our employer training, or our group admin training, is how to allocate those differently if you need to. So let's say that Dave and I both work for the same employer. Dave works in the Roseville location, I work in the Minneapolis location, and we want to keep access separate. The group administrator can absolutely set it up so that Dave has access to those Roseville claims and I have access to the Minneapolis claims. That model is very flexible, so you can set it up however it works best for your business. I'm going to go ahead here and get back to our dashboard. So if I click here, this always going to take you back to your dashboard. And you can see my claims again. If I wanted to click back into those, all I would need to do is click this hyperlink. Any additional questions? If not, I can hand it back to Dave to run through the rest of his slides.
Hey, thanks, Angie.
Hang on just a second. I just got a question here. Does reporting to OSHA change? I don't know if anything is changing in regards to OSHA. This is very specifically for workers' compensation. So OSHA is not participating in campus. They have a separate system. I do not believe that their reporting is changing at all, but I would encourage you just to reach out to that department specifically and ask if there are any changes to their reporting. All right, now I'm going to hand it back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Ange. I appreciate you walking through a demo a little bit on how to access a claim. And with that, again, I was at the end of my slides. Any questions? Any follow-ups?
I don't see that we have any other questions. As Dave said, thank you all so much for coming. If you have specific functionality that you would like to see in our next demo, which is next week, please feel free to send that to myself, either by replying to the email invitation. Otherwise, you can send it to dli.wcmp@state.mn.us. Went ahead and put that in the chat just for anybody who would like to email with questions or any demo topics you'd like us to cover. And finally, we did just get one last question. When can we register on campus? Campus registration will open on go live date. So it'll be 11/2. And Dave, do you have anything else to add?
No, thanks, Ange. Again, I really appreciate you going through the demo. And with that, thanks for everybody for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.